Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Michael. Welcome back to IDB. In this video, I want to talk about why, in my opinion, iOS 16 is one of the biggest updates we've had to iOS in years. So I'm making this video because I've seen a few things online talking about how iOS 16 is kind of boring, and I feel like it's the complete opposite of that. I feel like iOS 16 is a huge update, and in this video, I want to cover just a few of the features in iOS 16 that really make it a huge update for me. So first up is customization. So if you think about one of Apple's most personal products, the Apple Watch, it's really personal because you can have so many different watch faces and nobody's watch looks the same. And we kind of have this now with iPhone and iOS 16. If you think back to versions of iOS before iOS 16, everybody's lock screen pretty much looked identical, right? The only thing you could change is just the wallpaper. But here on iOS 16, you're able to change the font, you can change the color, you can add widgets, and you can even pick from a huge new gallery of wallpapers. So I have a whole separate video up on this channel talking about the new lock screen experience and the new wallpaper experience on iOS 16. But just to go over a few with you here, you can press and hold to go into all of your lock screens. And you can see just how many lock screens I have. You can see I had a little bit of fun with this new emoji lock screen. I really think this one is quite underrated. So I have one for kind of Canada and Canadian culture. I have this one for traveling. This one's kind of fun. I feel like most people watching this channel will like this one. This is kind of an Apple product wallpaper. I also have this one for when I'm golfing. This is my hockey themed wallpaper. And then this is kind of cool. Whenever I'm in my fitness focus, my iPhone will switch to this fitness style wallpaper. So it's just able to be customized so much. I also like the weather wallpaper. This one is live as well. So if it's sunny outside, you'll see sun, and you can see here it's raining a bit, so you can see it kind of animates there. So it just kind of makes your phone feel so much more personal, and you honestly spend so much time on the lock screen, it should be more customizable than just a photo. So what Apple has done in terms of customization, especially here on the lock screen, is one of the reasons why iOS 16 is such a big update for me. So the next reason is it fixes a huge issue I had with iOS, and that is recurring notifications. So this is something that developers are going to have to take advantage of. So Apple calls this live activities. So you know those applications where you're constantly getting notifications? Maybe you're following a baseball game and you get a notification every single inning. Or maybe you order food and you get a notification when the driver picks it up, when he's on the way, when he's almost there. Those notifications get really annoying. And Apple has a new API that developers can take advantage of called live activities. So instead of having all of those notifications be at the bottom of your lock screen now, you'll just have one live updating notification. Because we're in beta here with iOS 16, we don't have any applications that have taken advantage of this quite yet. However, I can show you a similar feature of how this will work. So inside the clock now in iOS 16, when you have a timer going, you can actually see it lives now at the bottom of your lock screen. So this is kind of similar to what live activities is going to be. So I guess Apple considers a live timer that you're currently using a live activity now. So it lives at the bottom of your lock screen. So if you're trying to keep tabs on something that is happening at the current moment, live activities is a great feature. So next up has to do with photos, and this is one that I was really wanting Apple to bring to the iPhone for a very long time. So we now have shared iCloud photo library, which is really awesome. So you can have your own photo library, and then you can have a photo library that is shared with a member of your family if you're taking advantage of Apple's family sharing feature. But it also goes a step further, and this is where I really like it, because there's a toggle in the camera coming, I guess, in later versions when you can enable this, that will allow you to automatically send photos that you take right to that shared photo library, or you can turn the toggle off and it'll save it just to your personal library. And then it even goes another step further, and then your iPhone can detect if people in your family are around you in your vicinity, and it'll turn that toggle on automatically. So why is this useful? Well, if I'm on a family vacation, for example, and my iPhone detects that my mom, dad, and brother are around me, and then I open up the camera, that toggle will automatically be turned on, and then any photo I take on that vacation will instantly be shared into that shared photo library. So this is a fantastic feature, definitely a better way for people that are in the same family to all have the same photos and memories. So next up is inside of iMessage. I can't tell you how many times I've sent a message and the typo was so embarrassing that I had to quickly send another message with an asterisk saying that I didn't mean to send that. So now in iOS 16, you're able to unsend messages and you can now edit messages as well. So if I send hi, for example, and then hit send, I can press and hold on this message now, and you have two options. You can undo send. So if I click that, you can see, poof, goes away. And then if I send another message, you're also able to edit this message. So if I press and hold, I can click on edit, and then I can change it to whatever I want. Just keep in mind you only have, I think, 2 minutes to edit or unsend a message, but this is still a really useful feature. And also, if you are editing a message that is being sent to someone who isn't on iOS 16, that person will see a second message be delivered. So they'll still see the original message, but iOS is going to send a second version of your edited message. So a lot more features inside of iMessage. I think this is one of the most user requested features. So next up, another reason why I believe iOS 16 is one of the biggest updates we've had in a while is it's just so smart. There are so many intelligence features baked into iOS 16. Now, I made a whole separate video about all of iOS 16's new intelligence-based features, and I'll have that video linked on the top right here, but I'll just go over a few of these with you right now. So first up, inside of messages, you can now have the app convert so many different things, such as it can do translation, it can do time zones, it can do currency. So if I click here where it says 6 a.m. HST, you can see it converts that to my time zone right there, and it gives me the option to create an event. So really useful for conversions. This also works inside the camera app with live text. And now the Photos app, I'll just give you one more example. It's now smart enough to pick the subject off of a background. So if I press and hold on the subject of a photo here, you can see it selects it just like that. And I can click on copy, and then just like that, I can send away that subject as a PNG image if I don't want to send the entire photo with the background. So iOS 16 is just so much smarter now that it really enhances how you use your iPhone every single day. So finally, my last reason as to why iOS 16 is such a big update is Apple has brought so many user requested features to iOS 16. So I think the first one I mentioned in this video that was by far the most requested from users was to be able to edit and unsend iMessages, but we also have so many new features that were requested for years from users. So first up is inside of Maps, you can now have multi-stop routing. So Google Maps has had this for a while, but now inside of Apple Maps, when you're navigating somewhere, you now have the option to add up to 15 stops on your route. So this is really nice, especially for people who are dedicated to using Apple Maps. And another one is inside of settings and sounds and haptics. You can jump here into keyboard feedback, and finally in iOS 16 you're able to turn on haptic feedback for the keyboard. I've been using this here on the beta, and having haptic feedback when you type on the keyboard is such a nice experience. It really makes typing feel a lot better. Another one here is we also get enhanced sleep tracking. So previous versions of iOS would only tell you how much time you spent in bed and how much time you spent asleep. But here in iOS 16, you're able to get way more insight into how much you're sleeping, and it breaks your sleep down into 4 stages: awake, REM, core, and deep sleep. So a lot more info about your last night's sleep, which is really nice. And finally, in terms of user requested features, this is for iPadOS 16. We have 2 features that were requested for years. First up is the weather app. It's kind of hilarious how it took Apple this long to bring a weather app to the iPad. And the second one, you're seeing it right now, is we now have a windowing functionality on the iPad with Stage Manager. So again, I made a whole video on this channel going over Stage Manager on iPadOS 16, but it just makes multitasking feel a little bit better. I like how you can now quickly switch between applications right here on the left side. So Stage Manager on the iPad is definitely a nice pro feature to have. So again, these are just some of the reasons why I love iOS 16. This wasn't a full review of iOS 16, even though it feels like I covered a majority of the features. But when you break it down and look at every single feature, Apple has made so many changes system-wide that, again, I really do feel like this is one of the biggest updates we've had in years. So I want you guys to head down to the comments and tell me what is your favorite feature that Apple brought to iOS 16. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, so definitely make sure to comment down below, and also drop a like on this video if you found it interesting or helpful. So guys, that's going to do it for me. My name is Michael with IDB. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.